Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 91 here at camp.
And it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be listening to our podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We have a lovely episode, coordinated, written, directed, all by us.
Oh my God, it really is.
I'm excited for it.
An in-house production, if you will.
What did we do this week? Let's jump right into it because we have a lot to talk about and I'm so excited.
We went to Brooklyn's Greek festival.
Yeah. Are you Greek?
I don't think so. I didn't take the why do I keep calling it the wrong thing? 23andMe.
You gotta try one.
WD-40.
Just get one. That'd be fun for you.
That would be fun.
I've said this before in the show. Me and my brother got my parents that for Christmas in selfishness to then get our own results.
Mm-hmm.
So
So how'd that work out?
Yeah. They didn't do it. Do you want me to tell the story really?
Yeah.
They didn't do it for a year because my parents were really protective of what they thought that they were. And then a year came by and I was like, you guys still haven't done it yet. They said, we haven't had time. I said, that is the worst excuse I've ever heard. And I was like, I'm really offended because me and my brother spent a lot of money on this and you won't do it for your own selfish reasons. And guess what? Yeah, we're not Native American, Dad. And I knew that. And you were lied to at some point. So he was upset.
I feel like that's happened a lot to a lot of people who have done it.
Well, a lot of us white people cling to a culture that isn't ours. Like, there's nothing wrong with being Welsh, okay?
And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. I just think, well, I feel like that's easy for me to say.
I just don't care.
Yeah, I think some people who are raised a certain way would really get whiplash from that.
Well, my parents weren't, my dad wasn't raised Native American, okay? He was raised pretty Irish. And guess what came back? Irish, yeah. No, I'm mostly Portuguese and Welsh. I did find out I am 6% French, and I never knew that.
Oui, oui.
Isn't that exciting?
That is exciting, but maybe you are related to Napoleon.
See, I don't think like you think. I think maybe I'm just related to a vineyard owner. Oh, I would love that. Yeah,
nice.
You could get it for yourself, or you could get it for your parents.
So do you just spit into a tube or is it like a swab deal? You do a little swab around the gums. They're like, you're not Native American. However, you do have really bad gums.
I don't know how it works. I didn't do it. They did it. I wasn't in the house.
Oh, okay. I feel like there's probably an expiration date.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's definitely not like urine. Imagine.
Oh my God. The people working, I wonder if they've gotten any crazy questionable swabs sent in.
I'm sure they have. I also love when people get their animals tested.
Oh, yeah.
Like their dogs. And they're like, oh my God, he was a schnauzer the whole time. Who knew?
He was a schnitzerdoodle. And then you're like, oh, well, I could see it. He's part Roddy.
Well,
I could see it in his eyes, his little eyebrows.
Well, I don't think either of us are Greek.
No, we're not Rottweilers
so,
either.
You know what's funny?
What?
Where I grew up, there was a lot of Greek pizza.
Yeah, I didn't really know. Maybe I'm just ignorant to it, but I feel like it's heavily Italian where I grew up. But I had never had Greek pizza, or at least called it that until I met you.
Well, it's not Greek pizza. It's a normal pizza place, but Greeks own it.
Right.
And you can always tell the Greeks own it because it's a certain kind of crust. And they always have baklava under a little cloche at the counter. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good pizza. And I'm sorry. Sometimes you get an Italian pizza and it's floppy. And if my pizza flops and doesn't have a base, I'm not interested.
That's what it really, a good pizza, like a good family, like a good relationship needs like a sturdy foundation. And it starts at the crust.
Yeah, it really does. And a good foundation of this podcast is going to be our time at the Greek festival in Brooklyn. I love a little moment when you go somewhere like that in the city and the streets are closed.
Open container, who cares?
They do not care. And they honestly, I will say, I think it was put on by a Greek church.
Yes.
It was a fundraiser. But hey, they spared no expense. The pop-ups were new. The plastic cupware was great. It was sturdy. Even, and this is like me just being so gay, but you know what I hate when you go somewhere and you get food and even like the container they give it to is flimsy, or it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like it's the wrong size. These were paper, but they were almost like, the only way I can describe them, campers, was like, imagine if you enlarged like a tin of sardines, but it was paper.
Just can say it.
Because it had that little wall up. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a bowl, but it wasn't really a plate. It was like
Right.
some sort of hybrid.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
like
perfect.
perfect for the food that they were serving for sure. And it was compostable, said so right on the side.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic time. When we showed up, it was already so culturally magical because the little kids were in their classic Greek garb. I'm not sure what that is, but it was I don't know, it was like kind of like velvety, almost to me, you know what it looked like a little bit?
Wow.
Like a little like The Hills Are Alive with The Sound of Music.
Yes, very much that. Do you
A little
remember?
Danish.
Do you remember that episode of Full House where DJ does the dance around the table and then she finds out that that was actually like a wedding and now she's married?
No.
Yeah.
Was it Greek?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking when you were telling that story that you're talking about Stephanie when she has her hip hop band.
Oh, no, oh my God, the Stephanie Tanner moves, they just can't be stopped. That would be you out there in that circle. You're like,
She
let me
kills
in,
it.
kids. Open the circle. I want to dance in the middle.
No, so these little kids, they were peanuts.
Mhm.
They must have been under 5.
Yeah, they were prepping all day. You could tell the concentration on their faces.
Oh my God, the little 40 parents with their cameras out taking photos, and then me taking a photo. I'm like, I don't know these kids, but they're doing this thing where they all have their hands around each other's backs and they're going in a circle and they're doing these little kick moves, and
Yeah.
it's very like. So my only reference to Greek culture, which is so stupid, is My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I don't know, I've like always been really obsessed with like a real heavy like family based culture like that. I don't know.
My only reference to Greek culture is Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club season 1. Gone too soon.
Mykonos.
Mykonos.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
these little kids were kicking and screaming and they were singing their little song. And
It was cute. We were clapping.
Yeah, we were.
We were in it.
Yeah. And you know what we did next? We beeline for the bar. That's what we do at a fair or a festival alla fresca.
Yeah.
Get me to the bar.
Well, also the line for food was long. We knew we were going to have to wait, and we're
Yeah.
so fine with that. What are we in a rush to do, honestly?
And get a drink for while you waiting for food.
Yeah, so that's what we did, and we got ouzo and lemonade. I had never heard of ouzo.
Shout out Greek campers. It was kind of licoricey, not my thing.
Yeah, it's from a niece
Oh, Anise, yeah.
or a nephew. I don't know. But yeah, it's like very like black licorice-y, and the lemonade. It was not what I expected, but once I got used to it, I was okay with it.
Yeah, it was fine. But then we got in line for the food, and I want to talk about Greek food for a minute because, oh my God, I love fucking pita and meat and sauce. You know what I got, campers? Everyone knows I got a traditional gyro, okay? And I finally figured out how you say gyro. I'm like going up there, I'm like, don't say the G, you fucking moron. If you do that, they're gonna hate you.
I'll take a gyro.
I literally, yeah, exactly. I literally was like, can I get a traditional? Yeah. And he's going to get the Slovaki, but so good.
So what's in it?
It's,
Was yours the same as mine, just with different meat?
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
lamb, tomato, onion, and then the creme de la creme of sauces, tzatziki.
Which is literally creme de la creme.
Tzatziki is so good. It really feels like European sour cream. Tzatziki is European sour cream. It's like a creamy base sauce with a little bit of cucumber in it. And it's got this like effervescence. It's got this joy in it. It's
Yeah.
got this like
Tang.
vibrancy.
Yeah.
It's vibrant.
Mhm.
It commands attention. It's sultry. It's soft. And it's in my mouth.
Jamie Lee Curtis Activia could never.
No,
It was good.
I think it's yogurt actually.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, yeah, I guess, right?
Well, sour cream is not yogurt.
Listen to these two non-Greek people talking about it. But I didn't have it on mine, and it was supposed to be on mine because I ordered you ordered it for me, the vegan, and I guess vegan, you don't want the yogurt, very respectful. But I was like, oh, I want the tzatziki. So you went up for me and got me tzatziki, and he went in with it. It was like a bucket full.
Yeah, and were we upset?
No, we were not upset.
Guys, if you were to watch me eat sour cream at the house, like it's actually so scary.
It is.
You cannot say that. Have them watch you eat a piece of pizza with ranch, okay? You can go through a half a bottle on a small cheese pizza.
Well, I'm exchanging my ranch for tzatziki now.
It's not always going to be the perfect switch for that.
That could be good. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Give it a little taste.
Maybe I'm like, there could be the right kind of pizza, not like a traditional like marinara and cheese.
A Greek pizza.
Well, so when I eat sour cream at the house, you guys, like Jonathan will make these little smashed little potatoes, little fingerling potatoes, and the potato will be equal to the size of the dollop of sour cream. Like, do a dollop of Daisy. That's not me. Give me the container of Daisy. That is me.
You've never been to a dollop, girl. You need the mouth.
Yeah, and I don't feel... Well, you don't judge me about it because you're...
No, absolutely not. I'm a saucy guy, but even that for me is like a little bit too much.
They put so much tzatziki in Jonathan's vegan Slovaki that he took the first bite of it out of the pita and it plopped out like this like fat... deposit. And I said, oh, I'm taking that. And I
literally took my tinfoil on its way.
I did. And I was like, now I have something to dip with. But I will say we made a fatal flaw.
What was it?
So when you order from this stand, which the food was incredible. There were little yayas in the back and they were probably chefing it up for us. And it was delicious.
I checked their Instagram.
And guess what? My stomach doesn't hurt. I feel so content because it was all so fresh. But I noticed somebody did the right thing. They got the gyro and they got the platter, not in the sandwich. Then they got a side pita for $1. And then they could have everything spread out in a plate. They could build their own, kind of be in charge of their own destiny, and then still have like their own sides. And it was like the same price. I was like, we should have done that. We would have more food and it would have been I would have liked that.
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's still going on.
It's a week. Oh my God. Well, this is so funny. When I was younger, like 10 years old, I used to freak out going to the fair because I loved getting a gyro. Like it was like my favorite food to get.
At the fair.
Isn't that weird? Like a 10-year-old, it's like, please, mom, give me a gyro, please. My brother's like, I'm just going to get the chicken tender basket.
Yeah, I'm like, give me a soft pretzel, baby, and some cotton candy.
I couldn't believe what tzatziki was at 10 years old. I was like, this is so exciting. Because my mom didn't cook Greek food, obviously. Yeah. But there's every fair across America, there's always like that one Greek gyro booth. It's like a traditional like spot, I feel.
I hadn't really had one, and I fear I still haven't had a real traditional one because I don't eat lamb.
Yeah, they gave you some sort of like beyond
alternative,
beyond lamb.
Yeah, it was beyond lamb, but it was still good. I enjoyed it. But we also got saganaki,
which, not to be fresh, that sounds like something that would be Japanese.
It sounds like a sushi roll.
Yeah, like I'll have a saganaki roll and then I'll have the hot sake. No, saganaki is not. It's Greek.
But it's essentially like a pan-fried cheese wedge.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mozzarella stick in the sense where it's gooey and cheesy, but there's no real breading. And the cheese is more of a sharper taste. Not really feta, more of a sharp kind of like bite.
Yeah, I don't really know what kind of cheese it was, but I think it is on the outside. Because remember when we went out up there, the guy was celiac, so he had to get a new one because there is breading on the outside.
It is a light breading.
But it's not breaded and not fried like how you traditionally would think that it was. And the guy who was there, who was doing it, lighting the thing on fire, dinner and a show. Yeah, please.
A little lemon zest. Oh my God! And I'm just like eating melted cheese. No, it was so good. And I love to eat cheese shamelessly like that. Like he just gave us a block of cheese that was a little fried and was like, go for it. I saw this meme that was so funny. It was like mozzarella sticks. I was like, yes. Because if someone ever offered you 4 string cheeses, you'd be like, no. But it's like, oh yeah, I'll have 4 deep fried string cheeses, please. And that will just be the precursor to my meal. It's like, why do we start off appetizers with just eating blocks of cheese?
Such a good question. And it's making me question a lot and also want it. Yeah.
Oh my God. I want another gyro.
Oh, wait, but I came up with an idea.
What?
Freaky for Tzatziki. All proceeds can go to the church. I'll talk to them right now. I'm like, you guys can take my idea. There you go. Bingo bango. I'll hop on Canva real quick, whip it up for you.
Yeah, the entire demographic there was like elderly Greek people wearing like the same merch they probably bought 40 years ago. And you're like, hey guys, fresh idea. Freaky for tzatziki. Come on, yeah. Let's do this.
I feel like they would have been down for it.
Some of them were, the more they drank.
So we got invited there by our friend Eleni, who was on my volleyball team. A quick recap really quick. Yes, Counselor Jonathan was on a volleyball team. I went to a singular game, which we lost. Sorry about that. But that was 2 seasons ago now. I signed up for the next season and it got rained out for I think a month straight. And then the next few days that they were going to have games, they were doing back-to-back games to make up for the games that were missed due to the rain. And we were in Mexico and then we were in LA for the weeks that they were doing that. So I had already missed a majority of the season, and there was one game I could have went to, but I didn't. I was tired that day, okay? But I paid my way, and I did not show up for any of that. I'm so sorry to my team, but we're standing at the bar and I look to my left, and who is standing there? 3 of the volleyball teammates, including the volleyball coach, who was not happy with me.
She literally was like, weren't you on our team? And you were like, yeah, I've made this whole thing my personality on my podcast for like 2 months now.
Listen, I was like, please don't spike me in the head. But they were like cool and didn't care. But I was like, wait, so you guys would have won if I came. But yeah, then what else did we do there?
I don't know. We kind of just like hung out, and then I just got dessert.
Yeah, it was a good time. And the thing about the dessert is you're not really big on honey at all. Not even in your tea, which I think is...
I don't like honey, and I think baklava is gross.
I love it.
I've personally tried so many baklavas over the course of my life because I want to like it. In theory, I should like it. I love a puff pastry. I think I don't love honey, but I could get into it. It is so sticky. It's so wet. It's like, it's aggressive. There's like some sort of like nut in it.
Yeah.
Little crunchies. I don't like it. And I'm done trying to like it. It's something about it I don't like.
What can I ask you this? What about honey don't you like? Because I know like
I don't
sometimes...
know, I like it.
What?
I don't like it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I got it. Well, because sometimes if things are too honey, I'm not into it. If it's like the raw honey and it's like really, really rich in color and everybody's like, this is the best quality, like sometimes it's a little too molassesy for me. It's a little too overstimulating. It makes me too thirsty. So I can see that, but I feel like you don't even like it in your tea, which is interesting because you have a little sweetness to you. You got a little sweet too.
There's something about it that tastes artificial to me, and the bees are like, okay, get fucked.
Yeah, it's like I worked all fucking week making that little droplet. You're welcome.
Yeah, and I don't co-sign it. And it annoys me because honey is quite possibly like the cutest condiment. Like it comes in a plastic bear, or then sometimes it has its own little wooden spoon thing. Like it has its own little lane and category. I want to be a honey lover. I don't endorse or support. But the Greeks, the only thing they love more than tzatziki is honey.
On all the desserts, except for the rice pudding, which I should have got, but that wouldn't have boded well on the hot subway.
I got this thing called galactoborico. It's a custard cake, obviously.
Oh, yes.
And they put a little bit of honey on top, and I'm like, fine, I'll deal with it. But it's so good. It's been marinating in the fridge all day.
And you liked that? Well, yeah, because it's not super honey. It's just like a kiss.
A kiss of honey.
A kiss.
I just wish I had more of a cultural heritage. Like I am half Portuguese. My family never really embraced that side like my other friends did. Like I went to some of my other friends' houses, like my friend Daniela's house. Oh my God, her dad's name was João.
Wow.
João. Joao or Joao. Yeah, João. That's as Portuguese as it get. And I'd go there and they'd cook and they'd talk Portuguese. I don't know. And my parents went to my house and they're like, what are we watching? Barefoot Contessa. Fuck off. No culture here.
Despite my pale skin, I am Italian, and at least like most of the holidays we did like Italian, like the 7 fishes around Christmas. We don't do it's so much work. We don't do that anymore. So
I think you're like, it's so much work. We don't do that anymore. Were you in the kitchen cooking any of the 7 fishes, or were you just eating and drinking with your cousins?
I was telling them what we needed refills on. I was like, it was so much work. It was really hard for me.
Yeah, you're like, there's so many fishes to handle. Your mom's like, you're not even in the kitchen.
Okay, but I did do the dishes afterwards, and that was so much work.
Not to be a hater, and I don't want any Italian backlash. The idea of serving 7 fishes in one meal, what fishes are we even talking about?
Well, like there's even smelts, which are the tiny little babies.
Yuck.
Yeah, I was never into those.
Is it 7 courses of 7 different fish, or are we doing repeat fish?
Well, no, none of them were repeat in our household.
That's incredible.
But they weren't different courses.
7 fish.
Yeah, some of it was just like some fishes are scattered about. But usually like the little smelts and the calamari and all that stuff is coming out
counts?
first. Yeah, I think it's really, I don't know what the exact tradition is, but we put our own little twang on it.
I'll have salmon, I'll have cod, I'll draw the line there. I don't need a smelt.
I don't need to smell either.
What if you put a smelt in a melt? Smelt melt and a little grilled cheese.
Oh my God, smell melt. The whole house is going to stink. That's stinky. This episode of Camp Counselors is sponsored by StoryWorth. There are so many stories about my father's life that I truly never get tired of hearing. He used to be in a band, he was one of 8 children, he owned his own business, so he has so many stories to tell. Just in time for Father's Day, I found the perfect gift that captures all his stories for my family forever. StoryWorth helps you preserve precious memories and stories from your father for years to come. Here's how it works, campers. Each week, StoryWorth emails your loved one with a thought-provoking question that you help get to pick. And StoryWorth makes the writing process super simple. All your loved one needs to do is respond to that email with a story. Long or short, it doesn't matter. They'll answer questions over the course of the year. Then at the end of the year, StoryWorth compiles your loved one's stories in their own words, along with any submitted photos, and puts them into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. Right now, save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/counselors. That's storyworth.com/counselors to save $10 on your first purchase.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements.
Welcome back to Morning Announcements, campers. This is the part of the show where we share news articles with you that you might have missed that we want you to spread like wildfire. Jonathan, do you want to start us off?
Yes, I would love nothing more but to start us off. Okay, so I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back to the 90s. Oklahoma, 1992. A bald eagle is born. I feel like I could do like a voiceover for like an Epcot ride or something. However.
Is however a word?
However.
I'm like, no, can I stop for a second? However, when I even think about that, I don't even know what letters are going where. Can you spell it for me?
Is that a word or am I just...
feel like it's not a word.
I'm thinking of whomever, however.
How would you, however, I'm like, is the first letter H?
Yeah, or a silent W. H-O-W. I'm trying to say however, but I'm conjugating it like 'twas the night before Christmas.
You can't just shout conjugation.
I'm really trying to cause a distraction over here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Back to bald eagle.
However, his medical chart was labeled with the unthinkable flightless bird. Isn't that sad? Not sure what.
Who did that?
I don't know. There wasn't actually. I put that in the medical thing like that. He didn't have a chart. I don't think.
Okay, I was like, he's a vet.
I'm trying to paint a story here. Okay, so that was back in Oklahoma, 1992. So his life expectancy not good. So I'm sorry. If he was left to the wild, his life expectancy was not so good. So he was sent to the World Bird Sanctuary in Missouri, and he was named Murphy.
Oh, that's a cute name. Sometimes they really mess that stuff up, but Murphy is sweet. I like that.
Cute. So fast forward to March of 2023. Murphy the bald eagle is now 31 years old.
My God.
He was living at the sanctuary. He'd been happy for the most part, but he never had a mate. He had like his friends that would hang out with him in the sanctuary, but he never had a lover. He never had kids of his own. And 31, the life expectancy in the wild for a bald eagle is anywhere between the ages of like 20 and maybe 30 if they're lucky. So now he's 31, and technically, lineage wise, he could have great grandchildren, but he never had one child. So then the winter came. They were coming out of the winter, and he seemed a little bit depressed. And one day the sanctuary worker noticed that Murphy was spending a lot of time on the ground in a corner of the exhibit. So obviously they're like, okay, what's going on? He's older, like, let's check him out. And sanctuary staff discovered that he was laying on top of a rock. And not just laying on top of it, but Murphy believed that the rock was an egg, and he was incubating the rock. Like, he was keeping it warm.
That is so sad.
Murphy protected the rock and kept it warm for several weeks. And he became so invested with the rock egg that the keepers named it Rock Baby.
Like, give him an egg. Like, go, I don't know how to do it, but find an egg for him.
And he had become so protective of the rock that he screamed and charged at any birds or people that would come near the nests, which in turn then kind of changed the vibe of the sanctuary.
It's giving dementia.
Yeah, and the other eagles that were in the sanctuary became super stressed by his behavior, and obviously like stress kills. So it was decided that Murphy and Rock Baby needed to be relocated safely away in their own private enclosure. But since it's not a real egg, he's kind of just like super protective over this rock, and they're like, we can't put him with other birds. We don't want him to be by himself, but this is the situation that we're in right now because he can't cause stress to the other birds, so he's alone. But at the same time, there was a terrible windstorm that had blew through St. Louis, and a nearby eagle nest had blown out of a tree, killing one baby eagle and leaving the other one unharmed but motherless.
Oh my God, is Murphy going to be a father?
Yes, he is. So the surviving baby eaglet, isn't that cute? An eaglet.
Yeah, I like that.
He was rescued and brought to Murphy's sanctuary space and replaced the rock. So they did this gradually over time. I'm not going to get into the details because it's like too much, but just they safely did it. It wasn't just like take the rock, put the bird there. They put it in this little like nest thing and introduced them very, very slowly, and made sure they paid close attention to make sure there was no like harm done to the baby. And Murphy believed he hatched the egg, and he was now the foster father of a baby bird who the sanctuary workers named Rocky.
Oh, cute. They're clever there.
So it's actually really cute. There's a video of the two of them, and it's like their backs because they didn't want to interfere too much with with Rocky because they want to rehabilitate and then release to the wild. But if you're taking too much care of it, it's going to become like a custom. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And then it's not going to survive in the wild. So there's this video of them like a little far away. Their backs are turned, and the baby, like Rocky's not eating anything. So Murphy's like pecking at the food and then staring at him like, okay, now you. And then he like waits till Rocky eats all of his food and just like watches him and like nurtures him, takes care of him, cuddles up to him. It's actually really cute. His fatherhood care was a success, and Rocky was rehabilitated to full health. And on July 7th, 2023, Murphy said farewell to his foster son, who was successfully released back into the wild. But that was last year. So fast forward to April 2024, a baby eaglet fell from its nest and sustained multiple injuries. A sign was put up on Murphy's enclosure that said, Murphy is on paternity leave. So yeah, they decided to pair this injured little baby eaglet with Murphy since it went so well last time. And Murphy and his new foster baby were placed again in a private enclosure to limit the amount of human interaction that the baby eagle has. And Murphy has just really taken on his fatherly role again. He's perched up on the nest. He met his new little baby. There's pictures and videos and everything. It's really cute. As of right now, they've been together for about 6 weeks, and the eaglet is still recovering from its injuries. But once it is fully healed, they're going to figure out a date and release it back into the wild. And the World Bird Sanctuary hopes to see Murphy foster more eaglets in the coming years before they are released into the wild. This story is coming from the Epoch Times, and it is titled Flightless Bald Eagle Who Incubated a Rock Becomes Foster Father for the Second Time. And it's by Deborah George.
Do you think Murphy gets sad when they leave? Or do you think he's like, okay, good?
He's really good at his job, but he's also really good at bouncing back.
Good. So the depression is over?
Yeah, I think he never had kids of his own, but he's doing a great job. He like has a job now. He's like literally like working.
Yeah, he needs a 1099.
And also make sure he files those taxes. Jesus.
Is that why you're wearing your Hooter shirt?
No, but wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'll lie and say yes, that is why I put on my Hooters shirt.
I love that. I want to get into birding.
I know. I wish I could recognize a cardinal and a blue jay.
My friend Shannon, they're really into birding. They're always out birding along. I'm like, I wanna join.
Shannon's also really into what is that, metal detecting? And I made that one of my camper crushes like last year, and I wanted to get into it last summer and I never did.
That is really interesting. That kind of ties in with my story.
Oh.
My story, the title is NYC Couple Finds Safe Containing Almost $100,000 While Magnet Fishing in Muddy Queens Pond.
Oh.
Yeah, it's from USA Today by Saman Shafiq. So a couple in New York City might have hit the jackpot when they discovered a safe with almost $100,000 while magnet fishing in a pond in Queens. Have you ever heard of magnet fishing?
Yes, I've been addicted to those videos when they come up. I will watch them. I just want to see what's going on. There's a lot of fake ones out there, but the ones that aren't, so fun.
That's the thing. I feel like there are a lot of fake ones, and this couple appears to kind of be, dare I say, content creators in this space.
Is this a fake story?
I don't know, because the when we get into like the contents of everything, I don't think it is. They are just like, I think they also know where to look. Because you wouldn't really do magnet. So I'm sorry, I'm not explaining it. Magnet fishing, if you don't know, it's like you throw these insanely strong magnets into a body of water and pull what comes up. So you're not really trying to catch fish. You're trying to find things that are metal in bodies of water.
Right.
And I would imagine that would be more successful to do that in New York City than it would be to like really fish, because that fish is going to be toxic.
Yeah, they're like, you got tons of metal in there.
But like on the other turn, like you probably don't want to do magnet fishing in like Acadia National Park. Like,
yeah.
You're not going to find much.
Probably.
Maybe, you know, you may. Who knows? So James Kane and Barbie Gustini were magnet fishing at a pond in Queens Friday when they captured a muddy safe. The couple, who regularly documents their finds on social media, told Spectrum News NY1 that they were stunned when they opened the safe and found hundreds of drenched bills, estimated to be worth $100,000.
How did they open it?
I don't know, but there's a lot of like photos and stuff like that. It's kind of like the size of a microwave.
Wow, that's heavy to pull up.
Yeah, well, it was a really big magnet. Kane told NY1 that they had previously reeled in many old safes, but had never found anything substantial inside of them until this time.
Why are people throwing safes into the water?
It's so mob. It
is.
like...
But you would think they would take the money out of it unless they like know where it is.
Well, sometimes when people steal money, isn't there like chemicals, or they can trace it back based on like numbers? Like,
I wonder.
In the movie The Town, when they robbed the banks, they would always put the money in the dryer.
Money laundering.
That's probably where it gets the name from.
I think it got its name from like laundromats that worked as, it was like a laundromat that then, but that also, I don't know, who knows?
I don't know, and I don't know what the heat's doing to the bills, but it's doing something. Augustini, I think that's his wife. Meanwhile, she said that Kane was joking when he shared what was inside the safe. She's like, this is like not real. And he's like, once I saw the actual bills and the security ribbons, I lost it.
Oh.
I know. These were like fat stacks of
Oh my God, is there a
cash.
picture of it?
Yeah, but they're muddy as fuck.
I don't care. I'm excited
Like they're
to see.
like, oh my God, yeah, it's a full-on video. It's like a YouTube video. The NYPD, in a statement to USA Today, said that the money did not need to be handed over to the police because its value could not be determined.
What?
So, okay, I'll go into that. As a general matter, found property valued at $10 or more is required to be reported to and deposited with the police. Let's start there. If I'm finding a $10 bill, I'm not bringing it to the fucking cops, okay? I'm putting it in my pocket. That is such a low. I feel like if you find something over $100, an item, like, okay, bring it to the cops. Under 100, okay, you don't have to report that to taxes or the police. Get out of my business. In this instance, the value and authenticity of the alleged currency could not be determined due to the severely disintegrated condition of the property. So Kane, in an email to USA Today Tuesday, said that they are trying to assess how to best recover the soaked bills, because they're like muck.
Right.
Soaked.
And because they're like, the cops are like, well, there's no way to tell. So it's like, well,
yeah,
I don't think you can take that to the TD Bank, the Citibank, send it up in that crazy little tube and hope for the best.
Those went extinct, and that is really crazy to think about.
What did?
Those tubes. No one's using the tubes anymore.
Really?
Well, I think everything's mobile banking now. Everything's online. No one's going to make a deposit through the SkyTube anymore. I'm like, literally, my Nana's going through St. Anne's Credit Union in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. We're pulling through. I'm literally waving at the bank tellers that she puts a fucking red lollipop back in the thing. And she did. And I even love when they put a little dog bone in there for the dog.
That is always so cute, because it's like you're paying attention and you're a caring person, because you didn't have to do that. And that is so kind of you.
I just think it's really sweet when a banker gives a kid a lollipop.
It's telling of a teller.
It's telling of a teller. You're so clever. Currently, the bills are all very delicate, Kane said. We have them now enclosed in baggies to keep moisture in so they don't become dust.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. I was like, well, dry them out. But if you do,
they're brittle.
They got to figure out what to do. Well, I guess they have all the time in the world, because they've really just been sitting there forever.
Kane added that he is planning to visit a department at the Bureau of Printing and Engraving that specializes in repairing damaged money. We have a department for that. We pay taxes for that.
Well, I feel like it is important, and there probably are times. Have you ever ripped a $50 bill in half? Because I've done it.
Yeah, of course I have.
On accident. Government.
If you rip any sort of currency, if you have the larger piece of it, the bank will take it.
Oh, so they won't take anything less than a half. Also,
Yes.
this is let's fact check on that. We don't know. So don't rip your bills.
I do know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know you had your 23andMe test came back and you had a little banker in you.
No, because like when I was a server for 8 years, so there was an instance where I ripped a $50 bill. Exactly that.
So you did.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was like in my server book and I was trying to like get something out and it just like it just ripped. So, and then someone at work told me that rule. And then when I went to bring it to the bank, I went inside and they were like, yeah, as long as it's more than 50%. Like, I think if you're right down the middle, there might be, it was like the top piece of it. So it was way more than 50%, but it was like a clean rip, right? But they're like, yeah, as long as we have that, we're good. I didn't even need the other piece of it.
Interesting.
So I made that into an earring.
Oh, how lovely.
I'm just joking. I did it. So yeah, and they're headed to the Bureau of Printing and Engraving. I wonder what else they engrave.
I know. I'm like, what are we engraving?
Those little like pictures, like there's like they're like snow globes, but somehow they etch in the picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
how do they do that at the mall? They're like, it'll take us 15 minutes. I'm like, how?
Oh my god! Speaking of that, you know, like those old infomercials where you could like buy a coin.
Yeah, they still do it. Like presidential coins.
So they're selling presidential coins right now. And one, this is so crazy, you guys. One is Biden on the front waving his hand, and on the back is Trump behind bars. And in this, and it's an official coin on like whatever, it's a collector's coin. In this, this is so crazy, you guys. In the same commercial, they're also advertising the reverse, where Trump is waving and Biden is behind bars. They're not even splitting it and putting it in different markets. They're like, hey, throw it in the same commercial.
We're going to make something.
Whoever wants it, if you're a Trumpy, if you want Biden, like we'll just make a profit. They're not even attempting to even like segment the market. They're throwing it all. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, think about it, because somebody's going to be watching that and it's not going to be clearly their cup of tea. And then it's like, okay, well, wait, hold on.
It is not that hard to make two different cuts of a commercial and put one on Fox News and one on like CNBC. Like,
yeah, that's true. I don't know. But you just reminded me, literally, I just had like a memory that I absolutely forgot about. It's in the depths of my mind. Were you a state quarter collector?
This actually means a lot to me because my Nana got me and my brother
the map.
It wasn't a map. It was more like a fold out.
Yeah. Was it like a one? How
it wasn't. It wasn't like. I think it'd be really cool if it went over every single state in an actual map size. This was more like a grid. It was like a box and it had all the like. It was like alphabetical order, and we never finished it.
So I had one. My grandfather got it for us, and he would always keep the state one separate for me and my brother, and I remember having to, you open it like a book. It's like a giant, almost like a game board.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up and you have to take a screwdriver and hammer the one side of the screwdriver and like push it in. And my brother would do it so perfectly. And when I would do it, it would push through to like the back side of when you close it. And I fucked it up so bad. And I was like, God damn it, fuck. But yeah,
and
we
then
didn't.
How do you get it back out?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Is it
you
just
gotta
like,
burn the butt.
Did it fall behind or is it just like really in the back?
Oh no, it's just really in there.
Okay, too hard. Too hard.
We accomplished most of the East Coast, but the fun part about it was like it would say the years that they would be released, and it was like maybe
they were all released when we were doing this as kids. I remember
it was like
that.
a 10-year whatever. I wonder what happened to that. I think we probably got rid of it in the move. But it's like, I hope we took the quarters out because that's still money, honey.
It is. And now, every time I get a quarter, I always flip it over and I take a peek. I love a state park quarter.
Uh-huh.
I love like a bird or something. They're really fun.
A bird.
I support whoever. Like, that's the kind of art we need to be protecting too. That sounded really weird. We need to protect all art.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
you're like, let's.
I don't know why.
The U.S. currency is the only thing we need to protect.
No, because what I meant to say was like, there's so many corrupt things in the government that we're funding. It's like, no, we should at least be continuing the funding of the creative process of our U.S. quarters, okay? Because this is something in the government I do back. I want us to still have like fun commemorative quarters. Let's start getting some like really great, powerful people throughout history on these quarters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some dinosaurs. Who knows?
Yeah, I would be fine with that. You know what I mean? We have some campers that wrote in that were from Colorado who knew very much what that part was. So like, let's get that region on a quarter. I think I would love to know the artists that they're working with. That's what a great honor. But
ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, don't say that. So apparently, back to my story, Kane said it will take a while. It can take up to 6 months to 3 years for them to go through it and give us the value of the money. So we'll see. Magnet fishing for some of us that aren't, I don't know. I think this is something I would do. I really think this could be fun. I read another article and I feel bad I didn't pick that one version of it. I chose this version from USA Today. I don't remember the other source, but they asked him other things that he had found. And he found a butter knife from like the Waldorf Hotel from like the 40s.
Wow.
That came up.
That's fun.
Isn't that fun?
That's fun.
That's fun.
And then you like find a gun and then you're involved in like a whole investigation. It's like, well, this isn't fun anymore. Oh, we did.
He found guns.
Oh,
he found a grenade.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
What
which
the
I'm like,
fuck?
how? Yeah. A lot of car parts typically.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things where I think you're gonna find a lot of trash to find that treasure. Like he said, he found a lot of safes, but none of them had money in it. But when you guys see it, it's like black muck. But when you spread them apart, because they were in bands, you're like, oh, that's a. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think I remember them being blue. And $100 bills were not always blue. That was in our lifetime.
Yeah, and maybe it's not that old. Maybe they really aren't that old. But I mean, think about it. If it's sitting in like a queen's pond, all it's going to take is a week for it to get nasty and mucky and breaking it down.
It's not that far from us. I think it's near the Verrazano Bridge, like over there.
Oh my God. Well, grab your magnets from the fridge. Let's go.
I wonder if they were on a boat or they were throwing it off the bridge.
That is a good question.
I believe they were on a boat, but they're like a YouTube channel.
I'll have to check them out.
I wonder if they had to pay taxes on it. Well, now they do. I mean, it's way too public.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to the government. They're you can't hide that. Going
honestly,
to the bureau.
This is they're going to get so many more subscribers from this. It's like, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Exciting.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little and we tell something to take a hike. My eye is twitching. I want to tell that to take a hike first and foremost. I think I just need to drink a little bit more water.
Yeah, how much water are you drinking a day? It's honestly, I don't want to get into this. I am. The amount of water we're supposed to consume is a little unrealistic. Are we looking at that?
Who's saying it?
Google.
Oh, big water?
Big water, much like big milk, is pushing the water agenda down our throats. And I just want caffeine.
Honestly, that's probably what's causing it. I just finished my energy drink and I'm like, why are my hands shaky and my eyes twitching and my pee dark?
You have to stop telling people that. It's not good.
Sweet potato fries is what I'm telling to take a hike. First off, they're not even potatoes. They are a root vegetable. I'll give them that much, but they're not potatoes.
They're yams.
Kind of.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'll open the conversation. It's open here. But I think they're very, very close to, no, they are yams. Okay, imposters.
Correct me if I'm wrong, campers. I just saw a TikTok about this.
That they're not potatoes.
They almost had to rebrand them. Like yam sales were going low. And they were like, if we call them sweet potatoes, people will buy them. And it worked. Are you against the yam as a root vegetable or just in a fry form?
Let's be clear and clear. I don't hate sweet potatoes. I like a candied yam. I like those. I even like the ones that come in the can.
I need you to explain to me, when is it appropriate for a yam consumption for you?
When it's not a French fry. Because this is what I'm talking about, is sweet potato fries. Sweet potato fries. Okay, so it takes a lot. Like if I'm eating a burger and it takes, like I'm locked in. It takes a lot for me to put my burger down and then kind of shift gears, reach for a fry. And if I'm reaching for a fry, I don't want pumpkin ass texture, you know?
I agree. It is a little pumpkin-y.
And I don't want sweet. And it always comes with like a sweet dipping sauce. And when we first started dating, you really tried to teach me your ways by ordering sweet potato fries every opportunity you could.
Yeah, and then your hatred of sweet potato fries, because it's a hatred from you. It's dark. It's kind of, I haven't ordered them in years.
Yeah, because it's disappointing. You've learned.
I've kind of agree now that I don't really like them that much. One time I had them with this very like maple barbecue, almost glaze that I was dipping them in, and it was quite a treat. It was quite a treat, but with a traditional ketchup, it's not my thing. I think there's a better option usually. I haven't had them in I haven't had a sweet potato fry in probably 2 years.
Yeah. And let's keep it going. No, I'm serious. Like, because where there are sweet potato fries, there are normal fries 99.9% of the time. Am I wrong in that?
No, I think you're right, but you're gonna find a place, and that's gonna happen to you. You just made that karma happen.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I'll be like, give me a bag of chips, or like, that's it. I'm leaving.
They're always crinkle cut.
They're always crinkle cut. And even like the sweet potato chips.
I have never seen that.
I've seen it before. I'll make like an exception. They don't have a crunch. It's very bizarre. Like you can never get it a good crunchy texture that I'm expecting and in need of.
I think that's why you're not liking a sweet potato fry, because they always are a little flaccid.
And why is that?
They don't ever really get that good crunch and crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never had a shoestring sweet potato fry.
They can't do it.
Why? Yeah, they can't do it.
Because it disintegrates. It falls apart. Because it's not a potato. It's a yam.
Yeah, and that's why Orida doesn't use them. They probably do, actually.
Wait, they do. But not only that, you want to upcharge me? You want me to pay more?
Oh, for something I don't like?
Excuse me, bitch.
That's how I feel about truffle fries. I'm like, I'm not paying more for something I don't actually even enjoy.
I am all set with that. You won't find me ever ordering a sweet potato fry. It couldn't be me.
Is there ever a moment when you feel like you want to upgrade your fry to a deluxe package?
Which would be?
Well, for you, it would probably just be cheese, because it's usually like a chili or a meat.
So I like if a chili like a chili cup. Not a chili, a cheese cup. Like a melted cheese on the side. The thing with the fries is we all know how it gets, and I'm not.
It's soggy. Then you just get sweet potato fries. Now we're just having a soggy meal.
There you go. I don't need that. It already looks like it's basically digested.
I like when a cheese fry is actually shredded cheese baked in the oven over the fries.
Now I don't think I've ever had that before.
That's what you get from like a pizza parlor. Let's bring back pizza parlor.
Yeah, pizza parlor.
It's a parlor, and it's just for pizza and shenanigans. And it's got red vinyl tablecloths. It's got green leather seats. And they give you a big plastic cup with some crunchy ice. And you sit there because there's a communal crusher pepper and Parmesan on the table and a paper plate.
And if you got 2 steak quarters, you put those in that little thing up front, push it in, pull it out, sticker. You got yourself a sticker.
Do you remember when Taco Bell, when we were younger, and they could still have them? I don't know, because I don't go into a fast food establishment anymore. It's usually like a drive-thru only for me now. But Taco Bell used to have that fun thing. We put the quarter in, and if it landed on their colorful platform, you get a free taco.
Oh, yeah. And like Burger King, yeah, I think it was like Make-A-Wish ass. I don't know. Something to...
Not the Make-A-Wish ass.
It was for... I'm sorry, that was rude. It was for a good cause.
Yeah, it was for a good cause. And the only cause I was trying to be good about was winning that free taco that I never won.
Well, they also had the one with the water in it. That seemed a little scary.
I don't know what
with
that
the bubbles.
is.
It was essentially the same thing. I think it might have been Burger King. I don't know. Where you turn the thing, but there's bubbles coming up. So when you drop the quarter in, like if a bubble catches it, it's going to knock it out of the way.
You lived in a more higher income area than I did, because that seems something bougie and unattainable for me.
It's not as bougie as it sounds. It's like nasty.
It's a water featured coin deposit. It sounds pretty exciting. Were there fish living in there too?
No, they would die. So that's it. Sweet potato fries. Take a hike. What do you want to bitch about?
The feeling of stage fright.
Oh.
No, I just hate that I feel that. I hate that I get that. I hate that we all get that feeling of anxiety and like the heart racing and like the anxiety. Like why as a human species do we have that? I need a beta blocker. I need something. I need a Klonopin at least.
The Klonopin smoothie. I think that it's just, it's a natural instinct when you're nervous. You're just like fear of being judged, fear of messing up, just standing in front of a bunch of people. You're on your own.
So I just did a show. I did like a 10-minute set for my friends Tom and Anna. They had a show called Fabulous Sweetie. It was at Gramercy Theater last week, and they were like, "Oh, can you do a 10-minute set as your mom character?" It was like a whole character show. And right before I went on stage, I was like stomach in my asshole, and I'm like, why? Because I know my jokes. I don't even think it's fear of failure or messing up. I just think it's this adrenaline but it's not like, I feel like adrenaline should be exciting and happy, but this is more like I can't quantify or describe the feeling of it because I'm just like annoyed by it,
Well, I think adrenaline pops up in many different forms in many different ways. You're also putting yourself in front of a group of strangers in a situation that you have never been in. And I know, well, both of us in particular, like to know the end outcome or like for me at least, I like to know the end result of what I'm stepping into. So I don't know, that could be part of it, but I think it's just, it's human nature. But you did great. You did fantastic.
Thank you. I felt good about it. Jonathan recorded the entire thing, and when I got to watch it back, I was like, oh, I missed I would say 20% of the jokes I had planned to say. But people were laughing the entire time, and it was a good prep because as this episode airs, my first ever hour and 10-minute live show is tomorrow. So fingers crossed, campers, say a silent prayer for me today and tomorrow. It's going to be really big, but there is a comfort in knowing that everyone that got tickets, including some of our campers, can't wait to meet you, that everyone that's coming is someone that already knows me and knows my style of humor, where some of the people in this audience had never heard of me or didn't know the character. So to make people in those rooms laugh is, I know,
more
good.
Challenging because you just have to do it a couple times and then it's gonna be easy.
I hope it goes well. I was watching TikTok videos on how to stop that feeling, and a big thing you can do is to yawn. Yawn right now.
Everybody yawn together. Yeah, because it's the breathing technique. I think if you focus on breathing, that's what I would do before, doing something like that or going in for an interview.
Well, there's a chemical that is released when you yawn that can stop that anxiety and bring it down a bit. So even just to deep exhale and stuff like that, and to know oh, you already know what you're gonna say. This is just a reset. But yeah, no, I hate this feeling, and once it was done, it's the best feeling ever. I hope I enjoy it, and I'm not just trying to get through it. That's my whole
I know
thing.
you do put pressure on yourself too. I think as humans, we all put pressure on ourselves to do perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's got to be.
It doesn't have
but
to be.
It does.
But we're human. So.
I know. But I do also believe that the healthy amount of pressure, even if it's not healthy, that I put on myself is what's gotten me this far in life. I think sometimes in life, people want to not put pressure on themselves for fear of the feeling of pressure. But the only way to really continue to grow as humans in every facet of our life is to put pressure on yourself.
So you're saying your fear of failure is causing you to fail.
Well, yeah, it's very true. No, I think a fear of failure is what stops people from succeeding. I wouldn't say failure, failing in general, but I don't think I don't, did I say it on the show already? That quote that I loved?
What?
If you're scared to jump into the cold water because it's so cold, it doesn't get warmer the longer you wait. It's always cold. And I want to do live performances, and I'm so scared to do it. And I've been wanting to for years, and I'm doing it as the episode comes out tomorrow. And it's I will be so terrified in that moment, but it's never going to be less scary the longer I wait. I just have to do it. Yeah. So yeah.
Ships are safe at dock, but that's not what ships were made for.
Isn't that incredible?
Are you guys kidding me?
I know.
I don't know who said that. I think I might have read it on a Snapple cap.
No, well, I showed it to you on a video on a TikTok, and it's Noah Khan. I think what's the song that was playing? Something between the villages. I'm not sure. It's that song, and it's all these really inspirational quotes, and that stuck with me. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think stage fright sucks, and I liked watching this video of this one girl. She was like, I get it every single time. I'm a professional singer. It never goes away. It's just expecting it to come and not letting it take over.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there'll ever be a moment in my life where I don't have it. I just want to be able to manage it better. So that's where I'm at right now.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camper Crush of the Week, campers. This is part of the show where we share what we're loving, who we want to kiss, who we want to snog. We're leaving all the negativity in the past. I'm trying to close my stand ring as we speak. I'm keeping my arm completely down. I think that's the trick.
You know what I actually found out? He's talking about Apple Watch for our audio-only listeners. We were on a long flight. I think we were going, to LA or Mexico, whatever. And I just put it on my my ankle.
That is so freaky.
It was very house arrest of me, but it worked.
Okay, I'm gonna keep mine down on the right, as if I'm standing, and then you're gonna do your crush of the week first. I'm gonna keep it down there, swing a little casually as if I'm standing up, and then we'll check after you're done and see if it closed it.
Okay.
Right, so who are you crushing on? What are you crushing on?
I'm crushing on something of yesteryear. I'm crushing. It's so weird.
You love vintage.
I do. That's what we do, a lot of reflecting here on this podcast. And by we, I mean I do for sure. I'm crushing on recording things on a cassette tape a la VCR. I used to be obsessed with just like recording TV shows on a 6-hour long tape. I don't know what it was. I was just like obsessed with it, especially around, oh my God, Halloween time and Christmas. I would record like hours of Disney Channel, hours of Nickelodeon, because I knew there was going to be one day or like one night in the summer when I really just wanted to be in a Christmassy mood and I couldn't watch anything Christmassy. And I would be like, oh my God, even the commercials are Christmas and joyous or like spooky and Halloweeny. And then I would take the tape, the VHS tape, and there was a little notch in it that allowed you to like record over it. And if that notch wasn't pushed in, you could record over it. But if you pulled it out, it like forever permanently would never be able to record over. So I would always like break them all. So I was like, nobody's going to take my tape. Nobody was trying to, but I would also decorate them with paint pens. I would take like a paint pen and make, oh my God, the Halloween ones were like brutal. I just like covered them in blood. I don't know what was wrong with me. Or like the Christmas ones, I would draw a little Christmas tree. And I went through a real phase of being obsessed with drawing the Pillsbury Doughboy. It wasn't very good, but I would draw him like on everything naked. So I would do that. But yeah, I was just so into that. And I would just rewatch all my old VHSs.
So I've never done that before. How do you do it? Do you have to wait for the exact time or can you program it to like record at a certain time?
Oh, I don't think I could program it. That might have been like advanced, but I had like a TV that had a VCR attached in it. It was like one piece. So I would literally just pop it in there. And then whenever the show was about to start, record really quick.
And then you'd watch the show as well?
Yeah, you could watch it or like...
Walk away.
I loved watching Hamtaro, but it came on right before I had to leave for school. So I would record... And then I would go to school. Like you could turn the TV off, it'd still record. I don't know how. That was magic. But I would come home from school and be like, cool, I have 2 episodes, a full hour of Hamtaro that I can watch and fast forward through all the commercials.
And then does it just keep recording?
Yeah, it would record for the whole 6 hours. And I wasn't interested in the rest. And I would really just use it and like rewind and tape over it. Like I was okay with getting rid of Hamtaro.
How many times could you do that? Like a lot?
As many as you wanted to, yeah.
Oh, it wouldn't burn out?
I don't think so. The amount of times I put that to the test, yeah, I'm surprised. And I'm sure if we venture into my parents' basement, we'll find recordings of something. One Christmas, I gave my mom, speaking of Barefoot Contessa, for Christmas, I gave her like hours of me recording. This is so embarrassing. I just recorded Barefoot Contessa. I was like, my mom's going to love this show. I was like, why are you doing that?
You're like, you're welcome. Okay, this is a whole collection of her. Now you don't have to wait for her to come on the TV Guide.
Yeah, you're Sandra Lee.
It's funny because Jonathan's really shy about this, but he is related to somebody from TiVo that works for TiVo Corporate. So Jonathan has had recording in his blood and his bloodline and his lineage forever.
I have. I can't help it. But I do have a tale where this turned on me once.
What happened?
I rented I Know What You Did Last Summer too, which is named I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And it was from a movie rental place. And I'm watching it with my cousin. And as soon as they're about to like reveal like the killer, it cuts to the episode of Full House where Stephanie is bringing Joey in as her bumblebee mom, since she like doesn't have a mom. And it cut the rest of the tape that was completely recorded over. I have no idea how they did that.
You rented this?
I rented it.
Oh, so someone, you know what someone was doing?
Hijacking.
They were just being silly.
Yeah, but I have no idea how they would have done that. Witchcraft, I assume.
Well, can't they record over at their own home?
No, because it was a movie rental place at the Jersey Shore on the boardwalk.
Are those different physical tapes? Like a different style of tape?
Well, they had the little tab was pushed. You can't just buy a tape and like record over it unless maybe they knew somebody at Big VCR. I don't know.
They did.
At Big Sony? I'm not sure, but...
I literally can't contribute to this. I do not understand the technology. I've never done it. But if that is crazy to you and it doesn't make sense, then I'm just going to back you up.
Thank you. It's like old TiVo is essentially what it was. But it's a cassette tape. I can like bring it to a friend's house and be like, pop this in. Let's watch the Christmas special of Lizzie McGuire with Aaron Carter. May he rest in peace. Yeah, it was just like, it was such a fun time. I don't know why I was obsessed with that and laminating things. I know I've talked about that before. I think I was just an archivalist. That's really what
You love archival.
I love archiving old things and never revisiting them again.
Well, somebody has to do it.
Somebody's got to. I should get to the library on camp here. Okay, so what are you crushing on?
I'm crushing on people watching at the park specifically. I go on a walk every single day. I've been doing this for like almost 4 months now. Boots on the ground, 4 miles every single day usually. And I always cut through a park near our apartment here because I love seeing the different flora and fauna and people in the park. Today was a really exciting day and I just wanted to talk about it.
Okay, what did you see?
First of all, there was like an entire daycare or like preschool there. They were in the whole middle field, like 40 little kids, like peanuts. And they're all running around with their streamers. And and like a lot of the preschoolers in New York, it's so funny. Like they do these trips out of their like daycares and they usually hold on to this communal rope. So they all stick together. And they wear a lot of times like fluorescent, like
bright
vests.
colors, yeah.
Yeah. Like
crossing a lot of streets in the city.
Exactly. So it's all safety, but all these little kids are running in the middle of the park with streamers, wearing green fluorescent vests, and they were all like crying and screaming and laughing, having the best time of our lives. I'm like, this is so fucking cute, like just adorable. And then there's like people with their dogs, people reading, people having lunch, like everyone looks so different, like diversity on 1,000. And I just cruise through. I'm trying to get my 15-minute miles and I'm just like soaking it all in, obsessed with it because I think I grew up in not an isolated area, but there were no sidewalks where my streets when I was growing up. I didn't have a lot of kids where I grew up on, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have a park in my area. Like there was the beach, right? But like you would go when your mom could take you. Like I didn't have this like community sense of like a lot of people in one area. You know what I mean? So being in New York, I like love the amount of people sometimes from all walks of life. And the park is like the best place because everyone is just vibing. Like there'll be like 7 different guys like all doing the most insane workout next to like old people doing Tai Chi. It's very exciting. I love it.
It is very exciting. And you love people watching, like even at a restaurant, staring sometimes.
Yeah, we're going to see a show tonight in Manhattan. So I'm like already excited to go to dinner and take the seat that has a better view of the restaurant.
Are we going to go to Bacco to Bacco?
Of course we're going to Bacco to Bacco.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I haven't had pasta in so long.
I know. Are you eating vodka sauce?
Oh, I'm going to get the vodka sauce, penne vodka. Okay, but we're talking about people watching in the park. I love, oh my God, watching the dogs at the dog park. That's my shit.
It is cute. I will say the dog park today was very muddy and the owners are really cute. They don't care, but I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, yesterday's weather sucked. It was just on and off all day, but I'm going to have some muddy paws coming home.
Yeah, but the kids were cute. It was a fun day. And I just like love people watching. So that's my crush of the week.
I love that. That's very pure.
Oh, really quickly before we end, I didn't check to see if I got my stand goal. Let's see if my hack worked. It did. And it did, guys.
Life hack.
Keep your arm completely down while you're sitting. It will trick your Apple Watch into thinking that you stood.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. What song's been stuck in our head all week? Well, you're about to find out. We also link below in the video description or the episode show notes. Click that silly little link. It'll take you right to the playlist completely for free. We have it on YouTube if you don't have Spotify, and we also have it on Spotify completely for free. So I'm going to go first. My camp song is Tipsy by Chloe and Halle. Halle she was the Little Mermaid, and she's also been in the remake of The Color Purple, but they were on a show together. Did you know that? That's kind of how like they started. They were on Grownish together. They're siblings in real life. They're sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they played twin sisters in the show.
I saw them live for Beyonce. They opened for Beyonce.
Oh, wait, did you? I didn't know that.
Years ago. I think it was On the Run Tour 1. Not the second one, the first one.
So this album, Ungodly Hour, so many good songs on there.
So many good songs.
But this song's really good. It's about like being tipsy on your love and just kind of, falling into love with somebody for the first time. And just kind of being like, okay, yeah. And you have my heart on a platter. And if you fuck it up, I will kill you. Basically being vulnerable, but also like, don't fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really love it. I love those girls. I think they're so talented. And I love that they're kind of doing their own thing right now. The last album they put out, I think, was 2020. It was like right before the pandemic or the cusp of that. And they haven't put anything out together. But they did say that it's not over for the duo.
I don't think it is. I think they were just doing different projects together.
Yeah.
They're still best friends.
Yeah, and they fully support each other and everything, which I think is great. But that song is just so good. I would sing it for you, but it's a little out of my range, so I'm not going to embarrass myself. But definitely give that, honestly, that whole album, give it a good run through from start to finish. Don't shuffle it. Listen to it in order. And Tipsy by Chloe and Halle.
R&B excellence, those two.
Mm-hmm.
I love them.
So what's your song?
My song is also R&B excellence. It's Vienna by Billy Joel.
It's not R&B excellence, but we'll take it.
No, Vienna is such a good song, and it's really having a resurgence right now on TikTok. It's like kind of like a trending sound.
Wait,
right
what
now.
is the trend though? Because I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm like, why? What is going on?
I think the trend is just the message behind the song.
Okay.
It really is. So like, you know the song. Slow down, you crazy child. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. Do you know the song?
I know the song.
When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Do you know what the song's about?
Vienna sausages?
No, it's like it's actually very interesting. So Vienna was written by Joel and released as a part of his 1977 album, The Stranger, but it wasn't a hit then, and like it was today. In fact, Vienna was released on the B-side to Just the Way You Are.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually genuinely on the B-side. Like, oh, it was a B-side? Like, no, this was really on the B-side, like in its origins. But currently it's his number 3rd most streamed song, behind Uptown Girls and Piano Man, obviously. But it has 500 million streams on Spotify. Vienna, it really is a metaphor for growing older. Rather than encouraging its listeners to grab the bull by the horns, Vienna suggests that everyone take the time to smell the roses. And it's really interesting. So he was inspired by this song because Billy Joel's father was born in Germany, and his parents split up when they were a kid, and his dad had a really hard time like in America. They like came here as immigrants and just like did not vibe here. And when him and his mom got divorced, his dad was like, okay, I'm done. And like just went right back to Vienna.
Wow.
And like left Joel and his mother as like a kid. So Billy had like never seen his dad like his entire life. He became like a huge superstar and then was on a European tour and was like, hey, I think my dad is in Vienna. So when they had to stop over there, he like searched his dad, and his dad was like, hey, how are you? Like not very much like my son. He was like, oh, you're here. Like it's just like crazy.
That's weird.
But it doesn't seem like Billy Joel like really resented him in that. So like in the whole story became they were like in Vienna and they're walking around and he sees this like old lady like sweeping a storefront, and Billy was like, oh, it's just so sad. Like she's so old and she's still working. And his dad was like, that's not sad at all. She's an older woman and she still has purpose. Like she still is contributing to society. And it's like this whole like shift how Europeans look at growing older as like you don't lose your place. Like you're still a valued member here in the community. And that's what the whole song is about. It's like you don't have to rush to get to like where you're supposed to be. Like there's still such value in your life beyond this like crunch of your 20s and 30s. Like life still continues on.
Wow.
Vienna waits for you.
That's beautiful.
I know. I had no idea that there was such like an actual truth behind Vienna.
Yeah.
Because Billy Joel is known to kind of be like one of the kings of New York. You know what I mean? And Vienna is like couldn't be further away in like culture and I don't know, like looks.
I thought it was about, isn't Vienna like the capital of a state? I don't know. But I thought I didn't know that that's what that was about.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think Vienna is the capital of a state.
I think it's a city. Maybe.
Well, it's definitely a city in Germany.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you haven't already, we would greatly appreciate it if you give us 5 stars and a review wherever you can.
Yeah, and next week we are going to have a guest episode.
Yes.
With Aaron Guilfoy. We're really excited about it. We recorded it back in May. I have a really crazy week next week, so we're so thankful that we have this episode. And I know some of you are a little like hesitant with having guests on the show. It is something that's coming from the top to the bottom. We're really excited about the guests that we do choose. It won't be all the time, but when we have someone on, we're excited about it, and we hope that you guys love it too. It's kind of the game of the podcasting here, right? It'll always be me and Jonathan, but sometimes we will have people here because it does help grow the show, helps grow the ads. It's a whole freaking business, as you guys know, and we're not trying to like pull one over on you guys, but as you
Yeah.
know, like this is the game.
But we also have the morning announcements, which is just you and me. So
Yeah.
like I feel like a lot of people sometimes like miss just us talking, and that's going to be in those episodes too.
I just hate to make sure that I want to make sure that you guys are in the know when we do stuff like this and it doesn't get like thrown on you. Because I think a lot of people were a little shocked with our first guest episode that it was different. And it won't be all the time. We will spread them out, but it is something that we kind of have to do. But
yeah,
we
but
want
it's going to be, we want to do. Yeah, we want to bring more people into the conversations because it's like, again, how many things for these segments are, you know, it's fun to hear what other people have to say.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not going to be every time, but yeah, next week's episode will be a guest.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. We'll see you the week after. We'll see you forever. And with that being said,
Lights out, campers.